I think those professionals who don't learn, who don't enkindle that lifelong love for learning are shortchanging themselves.
Hi, this is Doreen. Welcome to Super with Cooper. Continuous learning is one of the things that can help us grow further in our lives and in our careers. Today, I invited somebody who will be telling us about how we can learn better. Learning as in not just in the classroom or in the virtual classrooms, not just in terms of being enrolled in further studies or in, I don't know, like courses online, but specifically how we can learn better as professionals. Make it practical, make it something that's realistic for most of us. As a bonus, we're also going to look further or explore how we can become better educators at home, which I hope can particularly benefit those of us who are helping children or younger generations with their studying from home requirements. So I'm really looking forward to this discussion, and I hope you are as well. Hi, Joseph. How are you doing today?
Thank you very much, Doreen, for inviting me.
Can you please quickly introduce yourself to our viewers?
I'm Dr. Joseph Decena Dayag. I'm an author, consultant, and international educator.
You have obviously spent a lot of your life in education and in educating other people. So to get our conversation started, my first question for you today, Joseph, is how is education relevant, especially for professionals during this time?
For us professionals, education empowers us. I think those professionals who don't learn, who don't enkindle that lifelong love for learning are shortchanging themselves. No, I believe in the equation of Pat Soyaw, no, if you call that equation, or the analogy, the beautiful analogy, that our performance in our work is basically dependent on three things. Education is one, experience is another, and then continual professional development or continuing professional development or CPD. We are very lucky, Doreen. You know why? Right now, we have many YouTube videos that teach us how to do things, that empower us, that inform us, that inspire us. No? For example, now we can listen to many audiobooks available on YouTube for free. Now imagine that. Before, I spent so much money just to purchase books, so that I can read, say, Stephen Covey, Og Mandino, Brian Tracy. Now, if you don't have enough money, just go to YouTube, for example, search the audiobook that you like, and you can listen. No, I do it while I'm exercising at night. I listen to audiobooks. Aside from that, I believe in the words of Brian Tracy, Doreen, we have to invest at least 3% of our income on our professional development. As professionals, we cannot afford to be complacent. We have to continually improve. We should aim for incremental professional development. When I was there in the Middle East, in my previous college, I was discouraged to conduct research. And I have this love for research. My boss told me that, well, they don't support research. No? If I apply for leave of absence so that I can present my papers in international conferences, for example, in Dubai or in Muscat, they don't approve it if I apply for leave of absence. So what did I do? I applied for unpaid leave of absence. I spent much for that particular institution. It's like For every leave of absence, it's around 2,500 pesos per day. And I take usually 3 days for one international conference that I attend, because I still drive, going to Dubai, I come back, I have to prepare my presentations and so on. I stay in a hotel. So I spent much. But if you ask me, do I regret what I did? No. I spent much, but now I am much better. Now I am empowered to add value to others.
Another question that I have for you today is, how can educators and learners make learning more practical, especially in this new normal?
On the part of the educators, they have to provide user-friendly modules, especially for those who are teaching in the public sector. For me, right now, I'm teaching in a private sector, so I provide excellent instructional materials, user-friendly instructional materials to my students. That means before we conduct our online classes, they should have read their materials. Well, I'm speaking from the vantage point of a graduate school professor, Doreen. But I believe we should also do that to our undergraduate students. We should make them love learning. And how do we do that? We have to develop their love for lifelong learning. Because I believe, Doreen, the main purpose of primary and secondary education to enkindle that lifelong love for learning. We should let our students love learning. Because if we make it difficult for them, if we make it traumatic for them, then definitely later on, once they become professionals, they would not take masters. They would not enjoy their graduate school classes. Whereas if you let them enjoy what they are doing, later on, they would pursue their PhD. And after that, they would continue learning. Whether we like it or not, we cannot be complacent. We have to learn regularly. We have to adapt to the changing environment that we have. For example, for teachers, they can simply say, I don't know test portal. Do you know test portal, Doreen?
No, I'm not familiar with it. Please share with us what it is.
Test portal is an application where you can upload your exams and students can take their exams or their tests. So, in simpler terms, you have to adapt to that particular technology. You have to learn it. In other words, you have to invest time and energy. Some teachers don't like it. Well, if they do have that mindset, they don't advance professionally.
What is your gauge that your instructional material is already user-friendly?
The students should easily understand it.
Okay.
Now, it should be condensed, it should be substantial. The problem is, for some teachers, they just copy-paste from the internet. They just encode what they have from their books. No, you have to consider the level of your students. You have to consider the level of language used. You have to consider the layout even, isn't it? It should be, to make use of a word, palatable. It should be palatable to their level. You have to motivate them. What if you are giving materials to your students that are not attractive? Make sure that it's user-friendly. Consider their level.
How do you develop love for lifelong learning? Because earlier you mentioned that it's really important for teachers to do this. Can you give them some tips on how they can do that?
Yes, definitely. Number one is to encourage them in our class. Always focus on the positive aspects of the students' learning. For example, in their essay, you tell them first that they did a good job in terms of maybe the penmanship. And then look at the positive things first. Maybe the transitional devices used, maybe the indentation, like that. Do not focus on, this is wrong grammar. This does not agree with the verb. Something with the subject, something like that, Doreen. Second, make sure that you model, read in class. Share with them what you read. Share with them the audiobooks that you listen to. Always make sure that you model to them. Because if you tell them to continue learning, but you yourself don't listen and just spend most of your time on FB, on LinkedIn, then you're not a good model. So be a good model to them. And third, empower them in your class. How do you empower them in your class? Provide varied activities. Use or apply varied teaching strategies. For example, I complain when I listen to my children while they are learning. Many of their teachers just do online discussion. Oh my goodness. It's too teacher friendly. Right now, that's not the norm. The norm is to let the students be at the center stage. We should just be a guide by the side and not the sage at the stage, right? That's the problem. Well, why not use breakout rooms? Why not let them simulate? Why not let them do their group work? Why not let them role play in your class? Why not give them user-friendly instructional materials that they can present in class?
Can you please give tips to our Filipino professionals in terms of how they can become more excited with learning and development?
We have to realize that professional development starts with us. We cannot expect others to motivate us to advance professionally. It is our obligation to become better individuals, to become better professionals. You should enkindle your lifelong love for learning. In case you have dwindled, maybe it's high time that you attend international webinars. Maybe it is high time to listen to audiobooks. Invest on your professional development. Make sure that you advance professionally. Incremental professional development is much better than attending a year-long professional development activity, which is very expensive and impractical for your company.
Thank you very much, Joseph, for your inputs and your tips. Really appreciate your insights on my blog today, and thank you for spending the time with us on this episode.
My pleasure, Doreen. Thank you very much to Super with Cooper.
Good learning and development requires a lot of hard work and good time management, but is ultimately worthwhile in the end. I hope you were able to get some good nuggets of wisdom in our discussion today with Joseph, and I hope that you're able to apply it in your own growth and development. I'll catch you again next time.